Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life show. Our next guest has been on a mission to sideline cancer in companion animals and us humans, and he's been doing this for over 14 years. He is raising awareness. He's raising funds by walking. Walking, yeah, like thousands of miles of walking. Please give pause and applause to the founder of the Puppy Up Foundation, the remarkable Luke Robinson. I am so jazzed you're on the show, Luke.
Hi, Arden. How are you?
You got a big date coming up, and I'm not saying a date with the ladies. I'm saying a date along the Hudson River, and it starts September 4th. Tell our listeners and our cool people watching on YouTube what's happening September 4th.
Yeah, well, last September 4th, I lost Hudson, my third dog, to cancer, my Great Pyrenees. So this September 4th, 1-year anniversary, my three-legged Great Pyrenees, Grayson and I, are going to walk from the beginning of the Hudson River in the Adirondack Mountains, all the way down through the Hudson Valley, down to New York City. We'll walk across the Brooklyn Bridge and have a big party down at the base, at the beginning or the end of the Hudson River. And we're going to do that to raise money for cancer treatment in dogs. We're calling it the Hudson's Hope Fund. So our goal, Arden, we're really excited about it. We have 10 weeks, my three-legged Pyrenees and I have 10 weeks to walk 300 miles and raise $100,000 for Hudson's Hope.
I like it. And we're going to say it too at the end, but just now, because it's in my brain, everybody pay attention. There's some sites I want you to check out. First, you need to go to puppyup.org. That's the main site, right, Luke?
That's right. That's the
501c3 fund. You're trying to raise $100,000 to help people with some bills that they have for dogs they have that have been diagnosed with cancer. And that one is the HudsonRiverWalk.org. Did I do it right?
That's perfect. Okay. Yeah, you're perfect. Why don't you come? You should come host my show, Fuzzy Butts and Friends. You'd be great. Give me a vacation.
And everybody, I do want to give a shout out to this gorgeous big Great Pyrenees. Try spelling Pyrenees. I was putting on too many S's, but I got it now. There's more E's than S's. And Grayson, Grayson, a little TikTok in his life, right?
That's right. That's right. Grayson now has almost 1,000 followers. We haven't even gotten on the road yet, so he's becoming quite the celebrity. Actually, that's the aim of this whole thing. It's definitely to raise money for cancer treatment for dogs, but it's so Grayson can become a TikTok celebrity, and Poppy, that is your big dog here, can retire.
All right. So is it Grayson at Three-Legged Pyrenees? Is that
it's just at Three-Legged Pyrenees.
For the
Grayson's on TikTok and he's on Insta. Both of those are at the number 3-legged Pyrenees.
And that's Pyrenees.
Just like the mountains where they come from. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. And you can follow me. It's at 2 Dogs 2,000 Miles on Twitter and Insta. Everyone calls me affectionately your big dog. But I'm telling my side of the story, Arden. Not everybody's going to believe it. So some people will want to follow me. Most people will be smart and want to follow Grayson and hear his side of the story. But the cool thing is, Arden, we're going to have a GoPro cam. I'll have 2 iPhones. Grayson has his own iPhone.
Of course he does.
Number. And
he's a 21st century dog. Come on.
I tell you what, man, we are geared out 100%. We want to make this so interactive, and people can actually come and walk with us, Arden, on the trail. We'll be walking through upstate New York, the Hudson Valley, in the leaf peeper season, fall, autumn in New England. So it's going to be gorgeous. We would love for people to come out and join us on the trail, when we're actually on the trail, not on the road. The road's dangerous. We have a map on the website, HudsonRiverWalk.org. You can find out where we're at, and you can see where the trailheads are and coordinate with us and meet us on there and join us for this really historic walk.
I love it.
Arden, because like you said, this will be the third walk that we've done. I have walked 4,000 miles to date. That's 1/6 the circumference of Earth for the cause, because I've lost 2 other Great Pyrenees to cancer as well. Arden, we got to do everything we can to get the word out. 6 million new cases of dog cancer every year. God, is out of control. Everything that we can do to sound the alarm bells for
You're
pet
in.
parents.
Hey, this guy, like I said, he doesn't just talk the talk. He walks the walk, and he walks with a purpose. Yeah. I mean, I am sad that you've had 3 beautiful dogs die of cancer. And now you have Grayson, who is cancer-free, knock on wood, but has a missing leg because of some other incident, right? His back left?
It's a really unfortunate side of the animal world that I don't deal with because it hurts me so deeply. But the director of our foundation, Ginger Morgan, she fosters dogs with a number of organizations. She used to run the Humane Society here in Memphis, and she comes from the shelter and rescue world, and so she fosters it. And so she brought Grayson home with 3-legged Pyrenees just after his limb had been amputated. His previous owners, if you can call it that, he had an infection. He was neglected and abused. They left him outside 24/7. And the infection, it festered, became gangrenous, and they had no other choice but to amputate. And so they picked him up. We fostered him. And Arden, I tell you what, as soon as we brought Grayson home from the hospital as he was recovering, he must have been doped up on fentanyl patch, whatever. But he convinced me. He told me, Arden, I would be the best dad for the 3-legged Pyrenees that I would ever know. So
because you are the big dog. Come on, you are the big dog.
I am the big dog.
We know that dogs can adapt and can walk on 3 legs, but you also have something that you can fit Grayson with that might help on the 300 miles. You're taking it slow and steady. You're doing this over 10 weeks.
That's right. 10 weeks, 5 miles a day. We have bought a $1,000 Eddie's wheel, like marquee, top of the line. He's got all the bells and whistles. Grayson will have wheels at the time that the walk requires them. Plus, we'll have our van that will be within like 100 miles. So we'll have all emergency supplies. I've walked 4,000 miles thus far, and knock on wood, we've not had any major incidents so far. This one is only 300 miles over 10 weeks, so 5 miles a day, 6 days a week, 1 day of rest, and we have plenty of wiggle room in there. So it's going to be the most risk-averse walk, and we have all the precautionary safety measures in place for Grayson, including all the things that you have spent your time prepping us for on the road. And I think we're going to get one of your don't you have a first aid kit for dogs or something like that?
Yeah. Don't you have one?
Well, I can't recall. Ginger's handling the gear at that part of the gear.
You tell Ginger, contact me, and it's a first aid kit for dogs, cats, and people, and it's waterproof. So I will give it to you as a gift.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Arden. I took your CPR, your first aid CPR class before the first walk. I'm not sure if you ever knew that story. So I knew of you before you knew of me. So you're my hero.
Well, I do love it. I'm a master instructor now, pet first aid for you, and you come back because we've learned a lot, and I have even worse puns to help you learn and really good jokes. But before we take the break, I just want people to know this man is very amazing, and this man is doing everything he can because he has told us too many dogs are getting diagnosed with cancer every single year. And he's done a lot to help with the people that are researching it. But we're going to find out after the break why this walk is diverting the money to a new type of benefit for those in that horrible area of cancer in our dogs. So, guys, just stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm having a great time, a little memory lane. Here comes the walking reverence. We're on the right path with Luke Robinson. Before we hit into the purpose of this walk on September 4th, people that are having YouTube can see that behind his head is something that says Fuzzy Butts Studio. Can you tell people what that's all about?
Well, it's sort of the parent, I guess, the umbrella for all the documentary that we're doing for my 3 walks, and also recently we just started a podcast, and we're calling it Fuzzy Butts and Friends. And our focus really, it's not not about companion cancer. It's not talking. We want it to be fun and funny, but we do talk about cancer and companion animals because that's really kind of my focus, and it's been the cause of my past 15 years or so. But we explore the value of companion in society. We tackle the tough issues and the tough questions because, Arden, I think about two things all the time, Arden. I think about the future and dogs and how those two intersect. And, all of us get old and all of us get to the point where we don't contribute as much to society, but at least we can hope and maybe to a certain extent work earnestly hard towards making sure that before we retire and move on to our twilight, which I'm so many
I
years
just
from
do
that.
not see you retiring ever, Luke. But
No, I'm going to be doing this. Well, hopefully I don't keep losing dogs from cancer.
Right.
And that's the reason why I walk. But yes, this is a lifelong mission. I've been doing it for 15 years now, and it's my life's mission. I'll be doing it till the day I die. But one of the things that I hope to accomplish, Arden, of course, is to make sure that the future for dogs in our society is secure, because there are some people out there that are talking about some very troubling things. There was a Bloomberg article, Arden, that was written about in super inflationary times. It's okay for pet parents to deny cancer treatment for their dogs, for their pets that have cancer. And although I have a business background and I understand everything about allocation of limited resources, I understand the issues that they're discussing. There's an ideology that's hidden in all of that, and they're putting it out there and they're trying to convince pet parents to deny medical care. So basically, the past 15 years of my work undone just by somebody irresponsibly has an ideology they don't want to spread. And so I view my job, and this is one of the reasons why I call myself jokingly as everyone's big dog, your big dog, is I sort of feel that I'm sort of the keeper of that, the keeper to prevent that from happening, to do two things, to make sure that we're continuing on a path of investing in cancer research so that our companion animals have the best, the latest, all the tools for treatment and diagnosis of cancer. That's number one. And then number two is that we have the financial resources available to be able to treat those companion animals with cancer, because we need both. We both need a supply.
Because I think you touched a little bit about it. This walk, the Hudson River Walk, you're trying to raise money, and this time you want to put a spotlight on maybe some money that can be given to pet parents to not cover their bills, obviously, but to help augment some of the cost. Because I have never had a dog that I know of die of cancer. I've had other things. And to hear somebody like you and Puppy Up's organization to be able to reach out, because I'm telling you, we gutted through COVID, and I'm so glad I have Kona and Emma, my dogs. They keep me sane. They keep me healthy, and I do anything I can to keep them healthy and happy. So, I mean, tell us about this, because this one, it's named after your dog. Come on, it's on the Hudson River. You can't get any more. My heart is a pounding.
Thank you for that. It's very special and very important for me. But I tell people that walking for my boys that I've lost for cancer is my own personal motivation for walking. But there's a much bigger cause and a much bigger purpose. And historically, the foundation to date has done a really good job of investing in cancer research. We funded some really good clinical trials in bladder cancer, bone cancer. Nice. But the thing is, Arden, the more tools, the better tools that we bring over from human oncology, right? They're more expensive, right? So if we want all the latest tools, well, we got to be able to afford those. So the pillars of the Puppy Up Foundation to date have been awareness and education, pet parent empowerment through our Puppy Up walks, and investment of research. So we're happy to announce our new pillar, which is cancer treatment. So
Love it.
The research and the cancer treatment. So through the Hudson's Hope Fund, we're going to be issuing out grants up to $7,500 to pay for cancer treatment and diagnostics for dogs. We're going to limit it to dogs right now. We might expand to other fuzzy butts in the future, but dogs obviously are the ones that are hit the
Right.
hardest.
I'm
Cats
laughing
get
because
some-
in the background for the YouTubers, there's my cat Casey sleeping, going, "Really, really? What about the cats?"
well, thank goodness. Well, tragically, cats do get cancer, but thankfully, they don't get the whole battery of
No.
cancers that dogs. Dogs get pretty much everything that we get,
Yep.
with the exception of a couple ones, and they get some that we don't. So they're the ones that are hit the hardest. So
I love
right
it,
now,
and that's fine. Well,
and so we hope this. I want to get this in. We hope with the $100,000 that we raised to be able to treat 12 to 15 dogs with cancer right out, and that's just fund number one. Once we raise that $100,000, we're going to fund number two, raising money for that, treating more dogs. It's all going to be traceable on the blockchain. We're going to have it all transparent, where you can see the money go. You can follow the money from the donation to the purpose. We love it because we believe transparency is the future of nonprofits. So it's very exciting.
It is. And you know what? That lucky dozen or so are going to talk it up to others. And that's how we get.
Well, we're going to share their stories too. That's the other exciting thing. We're going to share their stories through treatment. We're going to get them the best way to document it. And so you'll be able to see it all and then see that, because, one of the things that the Puppy Up Foundation, one of the myths that we've had to fight the hardest is that there are still people believe that chemotherapy or cancer treatment does more harm than good. It's not true. We dose things. It does happen. I do not want to spread disinformation, but we understand cancer treatment in our companion animals has been going on for a while now. So we understand how to dose therapeutically without the bad side effects that we see in people. So we hope we are going to follow the treatment of what we're calling Hudson's Heroes that are receiving the grants, so that everyone can see transparently what it's like. It's really exciting. And
well, I like that
all for Hudson.
That's right, and that is such a beautiful drawing. Luke, what are like 3 tips, 3 bits of advice you could give us that maybe help us take some preventative or be catching things earlier to get a quicker treatment? Are there things, I know you're not a veterinary oncologist, you don't play one on TV, but can you tell people what are a few things that you can share to help maybe keep our eyes and ears open with
but I talk to and I know all the best and brightest veterinary oncologists. So I'm not one of them, but I'm up to date, up to snuff, and I'm in constant contact with them. So my first recommendation are know the early warning signs and symptoms, and we have that on Puppy Up's website, puppyup.org. The 10 early warning signs that get most of them. Look, dogs can't communicate with us. They can't tell us, my tummy's upset. It's upset today, tomorrow, and it's going on. So the point at which a dog becomes symptomatic, so that we see whether they're bleeding or have a bloody stool or start limping, the cancer is already advanced, Arden. It's typically, some cases, like in bone cancer, already metastasized to the lungs. So we're already behind in the game.
So we got about a minute left. So what's a couple other tips?
Sure. The language.
Go ahead.
The language to communicate is number one. And number two is with your GP, your veterinarian. Go ahead and establish a rapport with a veterinary oncologist, because the statistics tell us, Arden, that the chances are, if you have a golden retriever or American bulldog, you're going to get cancer in your lifetime. So early warning signs, have a relationship with your GP that you know and you trust, and then go ahead and start establishing and learning and building a relationship with the oncology community.
Very good. So again, let's get some DATs out here. Puppyup.org for the Hudson River Walk that is kicking off September 4th, ending November 12th. How do we find out about that, Luke?
Yes, that's HudsonRiverWalk.org. You can also find out about the Hudson Hope Fund. That's HudsonHopeFund.org, but that's a lot of URLs. Just go to HudsonRiverWalk.org. I know we make it complicated, but if you go to HudsonRiverWalk.org, you'll see the walk, where the walk begins. You'll be able to follow us throughout the entire walk, and you'll be able to, and we invite everybody to come join us for the final mile. November 12th, we're going to start at the Manhattan side of the Brooklyn Bridge. As many people with their pets, as many pets and people as we can get, are going to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge down to the Pier 3 Park. We're going to have a big party and celebration. So we invite the public to join us.
Hey, everybody. I am so honored to have Luke Robinson of Puppy Up on our show. I also want to do pause and applause to Susan and Greg Simmons of Fido Friendly with their Get Your Licks on Route 66 adoption tour. And that's it for our show today. It goes like boo really fast. I want to thank our sponsor, Tevra. They make great pet products. And I want to thank all of you pet pals for tuning in, and to all the radio stations coast to coast airing Four-Legged Life. Go to my show. You can do it easy. Just go to fourleggedlife.com for details. And until next time, this is Arden Moore saying to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there, paws up!
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Four-Legged Life.
Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.
Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.